at a live overhead shot of the Digital Signage Pavilion, Hall C of the Orange County Convention Center in Orlando, Florida. We're just footsteps away from Disney, Universal, SeaWorld, all sorts of other theme parks. This has become the theme park, though. This is InfoComm 2015. Digital Signage Pavilion is just a small part of the overall picture of InfoComm. InfoComm is an amazing, amazing show here at the Orange County Convention Center in Orlando, Florida. It's about corporate electronics, bringing communications together. It's about really educating people, digital signage, drones, all sorts of great, great stuff, filmmaking, everything, content creation, and distribution. This is a phenomenal show. You got to go to infocom.org to find out more. You're watching your live continuing coverage of the Digital Signage Pavilion on the Digital Signage stage here at InfoComm 2015 on Be Terrific. I'm Michael Artsis. Thanks so much for joining us. You are the Terrifics. You can join us in our chat and communicate with us in real time. That is beterrific.com/Slack. We will send you an invite to our Slack chat if you put in your name and your email address. You can also send us feedback. We love the feedback. Keep it coming. We've got such great feedback from you guys. To our email, connect@beterrific.com. And of course, you can reach us socially at BeTerrificTV across all of the social media platforms. All right, our next guest really needs no introduction. This guy is a genius. I hosted this stage last year as an MC for people to make presentations, and we turned it into this nice live broadcast, multi-camera for you guys to get more in-depth with the companies. But I called this guy a genius. He has created something that is unbelievable. He's the founder of Insteo, and Insteo is a company that has taken a lot of the work out of digital signage, and they put the power in your hands through template-driven digital signage. They're a whole lot more than that, but that is the biggest and most exciting part of what they do, in my mind. They do a whole lot more than that, though. JIM NISTA is joining us. Thank you so much for coming on here, and also helping to be a part and a visionary in seeing this through with the guys from InfoComm, Mike White, and of course, the people from InfoComm, Jason McGraw, and Debbie, and Barbara, and all those wonderful people, Patty over there at InfoComm, who have helped see this vision through.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you on. Tell me about Insteo.
Yeah, so we are a digital signage creative agency, but we also do software development, and we have somewhat of a content editing system. We don't really kind of put ourselves in the same category as a full content management system because there's so many companies out there that do that. And so our focus is on kind of creating and maintaining a wonderful viewer experience for the people looking at the screen. That's really our focus.
It's truly remarkable, though. I've played a lot with it. You're HTML5, so you don't have to worry about Flash. You're looking towards the future, and you basically put the hands back in the people who, like you said, it's not a full content management system, but it's something where I can get up and running, or that guy in the audience over there can get up and running, or somebody else can get up and running. And I like that you come at it from the creative agency point of view, and you said, look, there's a hole here, and we can help fill it because we can't service everybody, and in addition, not everybody can necessarily afford this.
Yeah, and part of the idea behind it is that in our small and medium-sized business product offerings, we are focused on the ability to do what they need to do, which is in a restaurant, being able to edit the price of the hamburger, right? And if you think about a small restaurant, they're going to be flexible with their product offerings and their pricing. They want to change it frequently. They might come in, it's a coffee shop, and they think, you know what, I'm going to offer a caramel drink today. I've never offered that before, but I have the ingredients for it. And then go in and just change that. They don't have to have a graphic designer. They don't have to have, you know, complicated software to do that. But at the same time, we're actually kind of building the entire solution for it. We're designing their menus to their specifications. So it's not just, here's this tool and go figure it out. It's, here's this idea that we're going to help you create that, make it look great, and then give you the tools to do what you need, which is to edit it. We also do large business work, but in the small and medium-sized business work, the idea is for them to be able to go in, quickly change a price or an item information without having to worry about hiring somebody to do a new design.
And that's why I think this is so important, because the bottom line is I think small businesses drive America. And they're so vital to America's success. And they need to get their word out there. They're struggling. They're trying to figure out social media. They're trying to figure out this. I can't tell you how many people I've talked to about digital signage from a video production standpoint, and they say, hey, I want to put in a new menu board. I go to the bagel shop, and they want to put in menu boards, and they don't know what to do or how to do it. And then I go, great, but you want to put up your specials. It's going to attract people, but in the past, before I met you, how are you going to update that? Who's going to update that for you on a daily basis? It can't get stale. You talk about the dry cleaners. You talk about all these other businesses that need digital signage, but can't afford the time and the energy that the traditional methods have, and that's why this is such a great thing. And also, we talked about last year how this and creating content are big problems for digital signage people, and you solve that.
Yeah, essentially the process for us is we're going to create a custom template for them, right? The idea being that we're going to design something that fits their brand, even in a small business, and then when they're done with it, they can do some things, right? And the things they need to do, and they can do them quickly. They're not going to need to get in there and change the entire schedule out. They're not going to need to get in there and decide suddenly they were a pizza place and now they want to be a donut shop. Those are the kinds of things you're not going to be able to do. You're going to go back to us for those. But we've taken the approach that if their website was done in WordPress, they can't change the entire website. Their website designer didn't leave them with all of that login capability.
Sure.
They left them with the ability to update a news story, to change a menu item, to do those types of things on their website, and we've done that same thing with their digital signage.
So I think it's phenomenal, but you also do huge jobs. So why don't we talk about some of those big projects? And by the way, I kind of glossed over that. Those are exciting too. I said this was the most exciting thing at the company, but it's exciting because I see how it can really help all these small businesses. It can help drive business. It can help drive the economy, actually, believe it or not. So, but what about the big jobs? Because those are exciting and they're a lot of fun.
Yeah, so a lot of our work, about half of our work is actually the larger projects, and those are really very custom, focused on, again, experience, the viewer experience. In InfoComm, we really talk about the viewer experience because we might be dealing with a hospital, we might be dealing with a university, we might be dealing with a retail store. So we can't say customer experience because we don't know who the end user is going to be. So we kind of say, we bend it a little bit, we say viewer experience to kind of capture all industries. And what we deal with the viewer experience is making something that connects them to the content that's showing on the screen. We talk about it as creative. And what that really means to us is with these larger projects, we're doing custom creative work. We're also doing custom software development work for them. So a recent project where we kind of blended everything together involved Bluetooth beacons. That's something I'm sure you're pretty interested in.
I'm very interested,
yeah.
And I think this is awesome. It was first deployed in Major League Baseball stadiums with the iOS devices so that you could get offers for concessions and follow some stats for the game on your phone.
Yeah, and that concept of pushing content to your phone, we've moved away from that. So some of the projects we've done recently involve not pushing anything to your phone, but recognizing that you're in the store. So if you think about that retail, you have a large retailer, you might have their app already on your phone. You've already opted into some of the features that they have. So you've said yes when you downloaded the app. And one of those features that you opted into was the ability to recognize your presence in the store. Now, the way that that's been done previously is to push notifications to your phone, but that's a little annoying. You walk into a store and it starts to buzz and it's creepy. It has that creepiness factor to it. So, but what if it wasn't creepy? What if it just triggered the digital sign to change the messaging to what it thought that maybe is more relevant to you? So now we're hitting a couple factors. We're hitting good creativity, we're also hitting great content, but we're also hitting good relevance, really great relevance. So if you think about it, you're in a large retailer, a big box store that carries everything from clothing to diapers to groceries. And you walk into that store and maybe you're a new mom and the app recognizes that you're there and the app recognizes that you've purchased diapers recently. Why should the digital sign be showing you men's bathing suits? Right? Those signage within that store should change immediately to say, I recognize your presence within viewing distance of this screen and I'd like to show you ads for diapers. Maybe you purchase one brand and I'm going to show you a different brand instead, right? And those are the types of things that we're talking about within not really becoming creepy. It doesn't have to feel, it could feel genuine. It could feel magical, that it just magically happened without you really kind of having to do anything about it. It's not going to say, hey Michael, go check out the new, the new biking gear in the biking department, but it could be showing things that are appropriate for you and what your hobbies and passions are as you walk into that store.
I like that a lot, and it becomes much more passive than aggressive, right? I think it's a much better experience. Digital Phil, who's one of the terrifics, he's in the Slack chat, he wants to know, he says, hey, what is your most favorite job that you've done?
Well, it really comes back to that beacons concept, is that we did a project, and we did actually 2 projects this year. They were really kind of proof of concept projects. One of them was involving a wine store. And so again, your phone is in your pocket. Your phone doesn't buzz, vibrate, bing, nothing happens to your phone. It's in your pocket, it detects your presence in the store, it communicates back to the digital sign, and it says, hey, you know what, Jim's a Pinot Noir fan. I'm going to change the digital sign and show him some red wines that maybe are appealing to him. And the next, the lady who walks in behind me is more of a Grigio fan, and it's going to show some white wines that may be appealing to her. That was a really cool project that we did as a proof of concept. But we took that same thing, we took the same technology, and we said, well, why don't we try that in healthcare? So we did this project together with a partner of ours, and we put together a proof of concept for healthcare, where we said, a patient's walking around, you get to put wristband on them anyway. Why does it have to be a dumb piece of plastic? Why can't it be a smart Bluetooth enabled wristband?
I like this.
And so as you walk by that screen, it's going to give you messaging that impacts your recovery, as opposed to just basic messaging. And as you approach that screen within half a second, it changes to recovery information that impacts you, maybe information about your next class. And in those areas where we're talking about healthcare, you're a patient walking around a healthcare facility, or you're a doctor or a nurse, we're able to kind of blend that creepy factor. In retail, we don't want to say, hey Jim, go check out the specials in the liquor department. You're like, wait, how do you know what you know too much about me? We can go in a little bit less, a little bit back, more less in retail, more in like some of these other areas.
Well, I mean, it's great technology. It's really awesome. It seems fun in a lot of applications and necessary in a lot of others. I think helping people recover or giving them messages, reminding them, reinforcing is so good. I knew a guy who was working on, or I know a guy who's working on something where you'd be handed a video on the way out of the hospital talking about how to heal and how your recovery process should go, when to call a doctor if you notice this happening, when not to, because they tell you all that when you're leaving, but you're so bombarded by all of it, it's hard. So I like this a lot. I think it's really cool, and it's funny because it really, you talk about how it takes away the creepy factor of it sending it to you. It just delivering it different, which makes it less creepy. It's still the same information. It still knows what you like and what you're doing. It's just instead of sending it to you, it's kind of delivering it on a screen, which makes it much more passive and less creepy. CJ says, it's so, he's watching, he's in our chat room, he says, that's so Minority Report when Tom Cruise walks through that mall and they're throwing ads at him that are trained for him, and then when he gets the new eyes, they're talking to a different person basically, and he says, Steven Spielberg, what a genius. But basically, it's coming to life.
Yeah, one of the things that we deal with every single day in our lives is if you use Google or Facebook or Bing, you've given up a little bit of information to them, and they're profiling you. And those are free services, and what we fail to realize, we should realize, is that we're the product, right? We're Facebook's product. We're not their customer, we're their product. They're selling a number of people. And so we're dealing with this every single day, where Facebook and Bing and Google are profiling us, and most people, a very large number of people, are willing to give up that little bit of freedom, that little bit of personal information in exchange for that service being free. And so if we think about that, and we think about that in terms of our live lives, in our real lives, not our internet lives, are we willing to do the same thing? Now the scene in Minority Report where he's running through the streets and it's showing him ads and it's using his name and it's really appealing to him and it's saying, hey, your running shoes are getting old, and all those other things that happen within that scene are probably not things we'll see. But we will see similar things.
You don't think we'll see that? I think we could. I mean, you talk about how we are their product. It's so hard to, when you realize this at first, you almost want to throw up in your mouth. And then you get it. And you go, you know what? This is actually what we are. It's true. They're data mining us. We're getting the services for free, and we're their product. That's what they're selling. But on the other hand, it makes our lives a lot easier. So at first, it's very repulsive. But in reality, and when you think about it, when you calm down from that whole, like, wait, what? You get it, and it makes a whole lot of sense.
Well, look, it's really simple. If I go on a website, I'm reading a news story on a website, and it knew that I just recently searched for a hotel in Orlando, should it show me ads for feminine hair care products or restaurants near my hotel? Which would I prefer? Which are more beneficial and relevant to my life?
This is why I'm saying, if you've already agreed to give up your private aspects, you've already given up your data. You've agreed to that once you sign up. So once you realize that it actually benefits you, you get over it. But there is that initial...
Of course, it's a little bit of shock of creepiness of like, how do you know I'm in Orlando? But
well, and I'm a product? Wait, I'm not a product.
You are certainly a product.
This is a product, not me. But I am, you're right.
You're a product, you're Facebook's product. And so they know you're in Orlando, and if they show you restaurants that may be appealing to you based on profiling, maybe you're a steakhouse guy, they're going to show you steakhouse restaurants instead of fish places. Doesn't that actually make your life a little easier? Aren't you willing to give up that little bit? Now, if they say, Michael, you should go try this steakhouse, you're like, no, dude, stop, you're being creepy right now. But if it just magically happens to show you that, instead of a different ad, remember they're going to show you an ad, and it's their responsibility to deliver good and great value for their advertisers. So we look at the same thing kind of moving from the internet into your real life, but I don't think it's going to get to Minority Report.
But that's what I'm saying, why? Why not? I mean, I don't have a problem with, if it's going to send me an ad, why not say, hey Michael, your running shoes are wearing out, you've had them for 7 months and you wear them every day, and we can track that by your iWatch, your Apple Watch.
I think we'll probably, as the overall advertising space, will back off a little bit, hopefully from that creepiness factor.
Yeah.
They'll find naturally that that isn't working for them. But if that ad said, just recognized all types of data and then just showed you a new pair of shoes, it might be more appealing to you than a passive medium, which still is a passive medium, saying go buy new shoes, right? As opposed to, hey, let me show you some new shoes that may be appealing to you. And I think that we're going to still take a back off to that, but by using that data and the profiling around you to say, when you walk into Target, for example, we're going to show you information on the screen that's appealing to you, that will impact your current visit and purchases, right? Is that creepy? A little bit, but we have to kind of find the fine line between too creepy and enough information that just really kind of provides you a benefit. And truly for me, I think that when when Google is feeding me advertising because it knows I'm in Orlando, and it knows what types of dining choices I make, and it gives me a restaurant that's appropriate. I'm not a steakhouse guy. And it gives me a restaurant that's appropriate for me and my choices. I actually prefer that. I think that that's like, hey, you know what, we're using all this technology to benefit me as an individual, and I appreciate you doing that. And so that's what we're doing with digital signage.
I think it's phenomenal. I love it. I love everything that you are doing with digital signage. The company is amazing. I love that you started in the creative side and still do the creative stuff, and you have the heart of a creative agency at your heart. I think everybody's got to check out Insteo, Insteo.com. You guys do a phenomenal job, and you're getting everybody across the board. You're making it better for everybody, from the small guy all the way to the major players and the major installations. And Jim, it's an honor and privilege to have you on here. Thank you again for helping to make this possible. And we're going to take a quick break and have you be on the wrap-up show, and then tomorrow you'll be on the wrap-up show, and Friday as well. And I can't wait to talk about some more stuff and what you see in the industry. It's Insteo.com, it's Jim Nista. We'll be back with a whole lot more of your live continuing InfoComm 2015 digital signage coverage right here on Be Terrific, the official coverage. You're the Terrifics. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after this.